Thank you for joining us on the Nikki Maduro Show. Myself, Kim McAllister, are here. Click that subscribe button and that bell so you don't miss a moment on the Nikki Maduro Show. And I do have a programming note. I didn't even tell you this, Miss McAllister. Friday, Loretta Lynch will be delving into PG&E again on Friday. So
did you see that
tune in for
op-ed
that.
she wrote?
Huh? Exactly.
Yeah.
She sent it to me and I was like, OMG. Now, this is stuff that she's been telling us, but I'm telling you, I am so glad that the message is getting out there. So programming note, that interview should be coming up on Friday. But today, we, of course, have to delve into the Donald Trump hush money trial. I'm not too surprised. And today, Tuesday, is going to be another short day because of Passover. Yesterday was kind of short. Pecker, David Pecker was the one witness. I mean, could there be a better name for the National Enquirer guy than David Pecker?
No, there really couldn't.
There really can't.
It's all meant to be.
It's already writing the after school special made for TV movie, right? Okay. So David Pecker went up and was the witness today. And basically they're laying the groundwork. He'll be back tomorrow. But it's basically just outlining what Trump did that we all know about, which is that he had Michael Cohen silence Stormy Daniels. And then, of course, the cover up of it all is what was the crime. But did you see this clip? And this is the mentality. And this is what I'm really curious about, is if people really feel this way. And hopefully I have it ready. Yeah. Well, let's just play a little bit of this. Just the mentality and how Trump's lawyers are kind of approaching this defense. So let's listen to a little bit of this.
As the underlying crimes.
Trump shaking his head no while listening to the prosecution tell jurors that he schemed with his former fixer, Michael Cohen, and former National Enquirer publisher, David Pecker, to influence the general election by concealing negative information about him. Trump passing notes and whispering to his attorneys at times. Trump's defense attorney telling the jury, "I have a spoiler alert. There is nothing wrong with trying to influence an election. It's called democracy."
Is it? I mean,
What?
Okay, so I'm just going to pause here and I'm going to try to be as fair as possible. Okay, Kim? President Biden is trying to influence you to get your vote, right? He's trying to outline things that he has done well. I mean, we could call that influence. But what David Pecker, Michael Cohen, and Donald Trump are accused of doing is suppressing bad news so that the American public wouldn't find out about what an a-hole he is, right? So, and an adulterer and all that kind of stuff.
I think this all comes down to cooking the books.
Yeah.
Right? It's all about, not that you paid off Stormy, but how you tried to cover up. It's all about the cover up, always.
Always.
How you tried to make it on your books look like something untoward wasn't happening. And why did you do that? Because you're in an election. Now, there's a difference to me between influencing an election and cheating. And that's a whole different criminal case that's coming, right?
Exactly. Let's watch a little bit more of this.
The defense arguing Trump relied on lawyers to arrange that payment. Trump has long denied the affair and any wrongdoing. He's pleaded not guilty to the charges.
It's a case as to bookkeeping. You pay a lawyer, he's a lawyer, and they call it a legal expense. That's the exact term they use, legal expense.
Prosecutors calling Pecker as their first witness. He once called Trump a personal friend, flashing a smile as he took the stand. Prosecutors accusing him of acting as a co-conspirator in helping buy and bury damaging stories about Trump. Pecker testified that he had final say whether to publish any story involving celebrities.
So again, I just feel like they're still denying that Trump did what he did. Look, everybody knows he slept around with Stormy Daniels. This is extremely humiliating. We talked about this last week. I can't imagine what Melania must be feeling like. I just can't. But do you want to know, apparently, and I didn't see it. I'm just going off of what Aaron Burnett was saying is telling me. Melania, I don't believe was in the courtroom, because you want to know what she was doing? She was, I'm not saying it's not good jewelry, but she was hawking stuff. I don't know, like on QVC.
Just a sort of juxtaposition of how they're spending their time. She's out now selling a new jewelry line, a necklace for Mother's Day, $245. She calls it for love and gratitude. Nothing on the website suggests that the money raised is going to charity or anything
but her pocket
like that.
Doesn't have it.
Do you have any sense what she could be selling the jewelry for? I mean, is it just money for herself? Money to
Hopefully, that's all we really needed to that. Hopefully, it's to leave his ass. Hopefully, it's to leave Donald Trump's cheating, lying ass.
My God. I mean, is that what you would want for Mother's Day? A lucky charm from the Trumps?
I mean, well, not from the Trumps. I mean, I'm wearing this necklace right here that my daughter got me. I haven't taken it off. It's like one of those, every kiss begins. I don't know if she got it at K, but it's one of those little heart necklaces, and I keep it. It gave it to me. I ain't buying Melania's jewelry. No. That is not happening. She does not need my money. Why are they hawking things? I thought they were
maybe she does need your money. Is it? Maybe she, as you say, needs to put a nest egg together to check out.
Well, former President Trump did agree today or yesterday to additional restrictions on that bond, that $175 million in the New York civil fraud case. Apparently, obviously the bond's to ensure that nothing bad's going to happen. He's going to pay the judgment or whatever. But maybe they know something. Maybe she knows something. Maybe she's taking a closer look at those books and like, you know what? Maybe I do need to hawk some cheap ass jewelry to a bunch of idiots who will buy Trump steak and everything else. Yeah.
I can't imagine it's real gold. It'll probably turn green on your neck the minute you put it on.
I mean, it's going to sell like hotcakes though.
You think so?
Oh yeah. They will buy. Trump's supporters will go broke to support who they claim is a billionaire, right? Why does he need your money? Why does he need to sell anything if he's
Bibles,
so freaking rich?
Tennis shoes,
necklaces. He's a grifter, but it is what it is, and he's like, it's not against the law. It's not against the law to do that at all. You can sell cheap jewelry, and I don't know if it's cheap, but it is nice to see that he's stuck there. You know what I mean? Like he's stuck in that courtroom. Yeah. He has to show up every day. He's bitching and moaning in between all about it with his stupid little press conferences before and after the case, but he's stuck there. And so Rachel Maddow was talking because they're not allowing obviously cameras in the courtroom. So it's the sketches and then it's the reporters who are apparently there. This is Rachel Maddow's body language opinion.
From where I was sitting, he seemed basically inert. He kind of slumped his shoulders and was I'm a slump-shouldered person. He was kind of slump-shouldered like this when he came in and while he was sitting there. At times when Mr. Pecker was testifying, I noted that he was kind of leaning heavily on the desk. There were times when he leaned from one side to the other, but I just didn't see him as particularly animated. Again, I may not have been in the best position to observe that closely.
But yeah, so obviously, and you've seen the images. He's just like hanging over and apparently farting and falling asleep. I don't know. Those are all the rumors. There's been no documented, evidence of him farting, although the sleeping thing might have some truth to it. Apparently he keeps nodding off. But I will tell you, and I'm going to be fair here again, all you MAGA people. I remember as reporters sitting through long ass court cases, and I'm just, especially if I was the morning shift and you're like, oh Lord, I'm so tired. It's not like knocking the importance of it and all that. It can get boring. It can get in the weeds a little bit, but you think the first criminal case against the former president would kind of keep you awake a little bit, but that's just me.
She has a lot of things on her website. I was looking.
Oh, we're looking at Melania's website?
I was looking at.
Throw it up there. Can you throw it up there?
MelaniaTrump.com. Yeah, let's look at it.
I don't know. Is it going to put a virus on my computer?
I hope not. Well, I was reading this article on MSN and it called it an ugly necklace. I don't necessarily think it's ugly.
No, it's not. It reminds me of like a clover or something like that. I don't think it's ugly.
It's fine.
It's fine. I would probably perhaps wear something like that if it wasn't attached to Trump.
It's made of gold vermeil, which means it's not fake. It's not real. It's not real.
Like, why can't they just make a real one? Like, and if for $245, what am I getting? Why am I paying $245 for it then? No. That's a lot of money.
And you can have whatever words you want inscribed on it.
Be best.
You can have, Go away, Trump. That's
Go
a good one.
Away.
But they have still for sale. Looks like the Christmas ornaments here.
No,
you don't want the red, white, and blue Christmas ornament.
No. What else do they have?
They have the Be Best thing about the Be Best. No, only thing for sale. Oh, USA Collectibles.
No,
Look
I
at
bet it
that.
has Trump's mug on it or something.
It looks like it's just the Christmas ornament and the necklace. Oh, a couple different Christmas ornaments. So
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, no. Be best. That was the biggest. The fact that they're still trying to go with that as if they meant to use improper English as
No
a
thanks.
slogan. Like, there's no way you could say that sentence. I mean, now you can. It's like they've created something like Covfefe and Be Best.
Covfefe.
Covfefe. Like these things.
That's what you could get on your necklace. Covfefe.
It's just so insane. And the reason why he's falling asleep is because the damn guy is tweeting and yelling on his stupid social media platform about the case. So, anyways, tomorrow again, Pecker is going to be back on the stand again. And just to remind you, they're not really being forthcoming with the witness list because they don't want people being harassed and all that sorts of stuff, because you cannot trust this man who some of you want as president again to not let people be harassed or to call them out on social media. The gag order, he's fighting that as well. And then he has the immunity case before the Supreme Court on Thursday. I mean, this guy has problems up to his fake hair. And yet some people just continue to want to support him. So whatever.
Add to harassed, downright threatened.
Yes.
I mean, people have had to move because they feel unsafe in their home.
Exactly. It's ridiculous.
Scary. The rabid Trumpers are scary people.
Absolutely. Okay, let's bring it a little bit closer to home, Kim, because we have a couple of, I guess, prison death row stories. A federal judge on Monday ordered Alameda County District Attorney Pamala Price, who couldn't pay for a good headline apparently, to review all death penalty cases over alleged prosecutorial misconduct. Here's a little bit of the details on that broke on Monday.
A federal judge has ordered Alameda County DA Pamala Price and her office to review those cases. They'll look at every death penalty conviction to see if there are any signs of misconduct. The judge issued that directive after evidence of potential bias came to light in the case of Ernest Dykes. He was tried and convicted in 1993. The jury ruled that Dykes murdered a 9-year-old boy and attempted to murder his grandmother during a robbery in East Oakland. Dykes now sits on California's death row. The review of that case found prosecutors may have excluded Black and Jewish jurors, and that's leading to the latest allegation of a larger systemic problem involving death penalty cases in the 1980s and 90s. The thought is Black and Jewish jurors may have been excluded because they were more likely to oppose the death penalty.
Well, okay. And so this, and of course, we're going to be following this story as well, but California doesn't put people to death anymore. Like, in all honesty, like, we should just be getting rid of the death penalty in California because we don't do it. It's not an effective punishment. So basically, we're paying out the wazoo to have people on death row that are not going to be put to death. They will most likely die of natural causes or something within the prison than going to death row or being put to death. So not that I know some people believe in the death penalty, some people don't. This is not that debate. How big of a scandal is it though when you're going to review death penalty cases in a state in which we don't really put people to death?
I think what she's trying to do is get the sentences overturned. She doesn't believe in very punitive sentences. Right. So even a life sentence to her would be too much. Right?
She's not helping herself.
So before she gets kicked out of office, she's going to go and look at all of these cases to do this. And then you open them up. And then once you open them up, I don't know. I just feel like this is her last hurrah.
I mean, I don't see how she's going to survive the recall. I do understand. We were kind of debating this in San Francisco. The Prop 47, right? Kind of, changing how crimes were deemed a felony versus a misdemeanor to prevent overcrowding and all those sorts of things. They have enough signatures to possibly reform Proposition 47. But so many things were happening when Prop 47 came to be. We had overcrowding, right? Mm-hmm. We had people saying that there was things like this going on that we just heard happening in Alameda. Police reform was needed. There was bad cops. There were bad lawyers. There was all this sort of misconduct happening. but also there's crime happening. So you can't swing, right? One way and then the other way and then the other way. You have to find a happy medium. I was actually speaking with Phil Mateer, and I was asking that exact question, just looking at the threshold of what is a felony. California is $950. That's the threshold. It's among the 10 lowest in the country. Texas, $2,500 you have to steal before it becomes a felony. $2,500. Now, when I tell people that, they're like, no, that can't be right. It is right. So I asked Phil, I'm like, what's the disconnect? And he's like, because if you get caught in Texas, they're going to throw your ass in jail. He didn't say ass. They're going to throw you in jail. You're going to face a real punishment. In California, we try to plea you out and figure out why you did it and kind of hippy-dippy attitudes about it. And that's what's also gotten us into this situation. I understand wanting to rehabilitate. We really need to fix that. But we also need to understand that when you do the crime, there should be an actual punishment that deters you from doing it again.
Yeah,
right?
No, I completely agree. But you would think it's surprising because you would think that it's tougher in Texas, right?
Right.
But no,
it's not.
We're painted as having all these very liberal laws, but that's just not always the case.
But I think, again, it's following it all the way through. And I think it's our follow through is the problem. It's like, yes, we will arrest you and we will charge you, but do we convict you? And then if we do convict you, are you facing a stiff enough penalty or sentence or fine that's going to deter you from doing it again? Because if you're out the next day after paying a fine, or if you have to spend, I don't know, a few days in jail, dude, some people are like, all right, I'll take my three meals, my bed for a week, and then I'll be right back out there doing it again. In Texas, yes, the threshold may be higher before something becomes a felony, but if you get convicted, you're going to face a very steep punishment, and that's the difference. And I think that then we have someone like Pamela Price who wants the whole hippy dippy progressive way of thinking about it, which I understand why, because we can't ignore police misconduct. We can't ignore bias, right? In policing and in sentencing. Those things are true as well, but we can't go so extreme, right? We need to be able to find this happy medium that keeps neighborhoods safe and yet that are also equitable and fair to those who are in our judicial and or in the jail system. So
I think you
it's
have
tough.
to ask yourself how much of it is about punishing the penalty. Right. And how much of it is about rehabilitation?
Right. But where do you do the rehabilitation? Do you say, okay, we're going to rehabilitate you by not giving you a firm sentence so you can go home and still work and see your kids and all that sort of thing, but, wagging the hard finger at you, right? Which for some people that might be appropriate. But for others, if there is a systemic problem, if this person's showing up in court time and again, if we can document, which I think we should be doing, you have been connected or responsible for this crime a certain number of times, kind of like a 3 strikes type of thing, but not exactly like it. There should be a harsher punishment. You are obviously doing this over and over and over again.
Well, one of the things they're doing at San Quentin State Prison is turning it into a rehab facility. And what does that mean? It means they need to get all the death row inmates out.
Yeah.
Because as you mentioned earlier, we're not going to kill them.
We're not killing them.
So we got to put them somewhere. And they're trying to transfer a bunch of them. I think the article I read said 26 inmates will be serving their life sentences, not at San Quentin, but the California Institution for Men in Chino. Here's a picture of that.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, that's kind of a little bit fuzzy. There's a picture of the big sign.
There you go.
Chino. Chino apparently is aging. It's in poor condition, not capable, they say, the folks in Chino, of holding hardened criminals.
Oh, fabulous.
And so they say an inmate with nothing left to lose could escape this aging and decrepit, raggedy old facility.
Wow.
They had a report done on Chino prison in 2014, and they called for its demolition. But
that bad.
It was that bad. Yeah. But it's still up and running. Chino officials asked the California Department of Corrections, please don't transfer these inmates from San Quentin here. Please don't transfer these death row guys. The request denied.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So in order to, and this is Governor Gavin Newsom trying to turn San Quentin into this big rehab facility, a feather in his cap. Look what we're doing to rehabilitate and look at all of our programs. And meanwhile, you got all these death row guys in this fallen down prison in Chino. I don't know.
Yeah, no. While you were talking, I was looking up the article. Apparently in 1983, they're concerned obviously that it's not secure enough. But apparently in 1983, this inmate by the name of Kevin Cooper escaped from prison and resulted in the murders of 4 people. And the most recent escape happened in 2018. So it's not like it was that long ago that people have been escaping the prison in Chino. Now, what kind of feather is it going to be in the cap, Newsom, if you have a bunch of inmates or even one inmate leave or escape and something tragic happens? So I understand that they're revamping San Quentin. Okay, fine. I do think that we need to focus on rehabilitation while they're behind bars. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean you endanger a community. So I hope there's funds to kind of harden Chino if possible, because I wouldn't want to live there. I would want to get the hell out of town. That's for sure.
No, imagine if you had other inmates escaping before, and now you got the 26 guys from death row coming.
26. You know, they're like, yes. Like, I mean, they don't have anything to lose. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I hate to be kind of dark about the whole thing, but if you're on death row, the reason why they keep you separated from Gen Pop is because of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it costs so much to have people on death row and all sorts of things.
So I had a family member that was once married to someone who was a psychiatrist at San Quentin, or a counselor. Okay. And she was asked all the time, aren't you scared living on the prison grounds? Because they have little cottages there for people that work there. And she said, no. And here's why. Because if they escape from prison, they're not stopping at my house on prison grounds. They're trying to get out of here.
Right. That's
She's
true.
like, they're not leaving. But I still, if I was in Chino and I have this prison that they claim is easy to escape from.
Right.
I don't know. I'd feel a little uneasy.
I would definitely feel uneasy. I mean, I just kind of feel scared. Now, did it say when I shut down the article, does it say how quickly the movement of all of these inmates from San Quentin needs to happen to Chino? I mean, is this happening right away? Is there any sort of chance that they could possibly do some sort of, I don't know, rehabilitation or something? Because 1941 is when the Chino Men's Institute was built. 1941.
Pretty old. I mean,
it's
I don't know
the
if
third
been
oldest. It's the third oldest prison in the state. Yeah, and it doesn't tell me, at least in this article that I'm reading, it doesn't give me an exact date on when they want to move them over there. But geez Louise, I would not want to live anywhere near Chino. And I don't know if Chino has the best reputation anyway. I don't want to judge people that live in Chino. I don't know the area at all, but I kind of feel like I've heard stories. Maybe it's that escaped inmate. But still, if that was me, I would not be happy. It's definitely not something I would want to see popping up in my neighborhood.
Yeah, I don't see a timeline on
Yeah,
this.
I don't see a timeline either. But obviously the shutting down and revamping of San Quentin is going to take a while. But you got to get the inmates out before you can start any of that business. So,
and then what kind of protocols do you have for these are the worst of the worst, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's a reason they went to death row.
They're murderers, Kim.
And so, not that they didn't already have murderers or manslaughterers or whatever else,
right?
But these are like supposedly
the worst of the
bad
worst.
Guys.
Yeah,
like the boogeymen that'll get you at night, right? These are the guys.
Yeah.
And so, what do you do? I mean, then do they have to do a complete revamp of the way they guard, of the way they handle things?
Would you want to work there anymore? I would probably be like, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up to take care of death row inmates.
There's a bunch of guards at San Quentin who know what to do.
Yeah.
Do the guards at Chino know what to do?
Maybe they can hire them. Yeah, maybe they can. I don't know. All right, I'm going to leave you with this more upbeat story than San Quentin and death row inmates. Did you see this? I'm going to show you this picture really quickly. Did you see this picture? I want you to tell me what you think. Oh, did I not bring it up? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, right here. What is this? Do you know what that is? What she's holding right there?
Old vases?
Uh-huh. Can you guess what's inside those? It's actually jars. What's inside those jars?
Is it cremated remains?
No, it is not. It is
wine. It's wine.
Not exactly.
Oh, okay.
They are century-old bottles of cherries unearthed at George Washington's house.
Wow.
Isn't that freaking cool? So apparently
That's
this
so cool.
archaeologist is digging things up. He finds this bottle and it looks like fragments, but it keeps getting bigger and bigger. Now, I would never do this, but maybe this is a guy thing. I don't know. He stuck his finger in his mouth to see if it might wiggle a piece loose, and my finger came back wet. Okay.
Oh.
So he thought about it half a second longer. And he's like, oh my God, my finger's wet. He got a flashlight out, shined it in there. The thing is completely full of liquid. And so then they take it out, and apparently they found stems, seeds, whole recognizable cherries. He's quoted as saying it actually smelled like cherry blossoms when we got to the bottom. So apparently, you know the story of George Washington and the cherry tree.
Yeah.
Apparently there is some truth to that whole entire story. So there you go.
Did anyone try it, or were they?
Oh no,
did they
it's
have
like
fears
rotted.
of botulism?
Like, yeah, no. That's another thing. It's like, you know what? Maybe you just shouldn't really be doing anything. But they're really excited about this. They're like, they removed the bottles. They think there may be more undiscovered bottles buried nearby, and excavations will continue over the next week, if not month. So,
the old-fashioned way of canning? Like, we're just going to bury them here. We'll pull them out next spring.
Well, they thought that maybe the liquid was water seeping in through the cork or whatever, but then the cherries were definitely in there with the stems and the seeds and actual whole cherries. So that's really cool. And, you know, what a cool job to have, you know, just finding pieces of history right underneath the ground. Yeah. All right, you guys. So we will continue to watch the Trump hush money trial. And of course, Thursday is the immunity hearing in front of the U.S. Supreme Court for former President Trump. Friday, we will have our interview with Loretta Lynch on talking about PG&E. If you have not read her op-ed in the Chronicle, read it. It is so, so good. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about our PG&E bills. If you have anything that you want me to ask Loretta Lynch, send it to me now. My email, of course, is thenikkimadoroshow@gmail.com. Please support the show by going to thenikkimadoroshow.com and donating to our Patreon, even if it's $5 a month. We really appreciate all the help and support that we can get. We, of course, have PayPal as well. thenikkimadoroshow@gmail.com is the email for PayPal, and we appreciate that so much. And, of course, click the thumbs up button and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss a moment. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Oh, and if you haven't taken the survey, we're still leaving it open. The link to the survey about this show is in the show notes, so go check that out.
And don't forget to click like and subscribe. Woo-hoo!
Like and subscribe. All right, love you. Have a great one, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You're proud, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.